So the incumbent won big on Tuesday night. What about the challenger on Saturday? Mark Rogers TV on the established power, number one, 9-0, undefeated Alabama, taking on the new kid on the block in the SEC West, Texas A&M. Yeah, I know the analogy doesn't quite work because, well, Alabama still retains control of the SEC West, even if A&M pulls off the monumental upset on Saturday because the Aggies have lost 2 conference games. But follow me here. The landscape in the SEC West has dramatically changed just in the last year or two. Auburn, 2010 national champions. Is it really just been less than 2 years since Cam Newton and company won the national championship? Because ever since, this program has not been in decline, it's been in free fall. Most of Gene Chizek's prized recruits aren't even eligible, haven't even seen the field. Arkansas, excellent seasons for the Hogs in 2010 and 11. Now that program's in limbo. It's crashed along with Bobby Petrino and his volleyball babe. And with the lame duck coach, yes, this program is certainly in limbo entering 2013. Mississippi State. Well, Mississippi State has pretty much squeezed everything it could out of Mississippi talent and that talent base that they can acquire on that second or third tier. So for Mississippi State, they're a nice little Music City Bowl type program, but will never reach the Alabama status. Ole Miss, we give the Rebels a gold star for what an effort, what a try. They're cute, they're cuddly, they've won 5 games. Let's get to a bowl game for the Rebs. And LSU, of course, they're the one challenger to the throne, but they already had their shot and they failed in the clutch. So we've got Texas A&M. Yeah, they've lost 2 games and they lost to their 2 toughest opponents, Florida and LSU, both games at home. And disappointingly, both games in which they led at halftime. They led by 12, they led by 10, and they got dominated in the fourth quarter. Johnny Manziel, redshirt freshman quarterback Johnny Manziel of Texas A&M. Will he stare down the barrel of the Tide defense or will he blink? That's the storyline. Now let's get to the nuts and bolts of the performance. And what we saw last week is that the Tide is beatable, they're not invincible, they might be vulnerable. First of all, on defense, LSU quarterback Zach Mettenberger only threw 11 completions in 45 attempts, ripped the Tide for 298 through the air, no picks and 2 touchdowns. Now, Johnny Manziel's a better quarterback than Zach Mettenberger, and he's the dual threat quarterback. That could be huge in this game. He gets to the perimeter, he finds the running lanes inside, so the Tide will have to be careful rushing him full throttle. They may want to lay back, play the lanes, and contain Johnny Manziel. Texas A&M has a running game that's comparable to LSU. They've got an offensive line that's probably better, considering the Tigers have suffered some injuries up front, and especially with the Aggie left tackle Luke Jekyll, who's one of the best in the country. The passing game is much better with the outside receivers Ryan Swope and Mike Evans. Of course, the A&M defense cannot compare to LSU, but it's getting better. And Alabama couldn't move the ball against the Tigers from the first to the fourth quarters. A.J. McCarron with just 92 yards passing until that fatal last drive to win the football game. We will make our pick later in the week. Of course, Mark Rogers TV at 18-10 against the spread in our confidence picks. So stay tuned for those coming up later this week. This is your turn, though, on the Tide and the Aggies in Tuscaloosa. Want to hear from you on Mark Rogers TV.